Mark Skoll Jr. here alongside Blake Blackmar, the offensive lineman for the Baylor Bears.
Yeah.
Blake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Blake, I'm doing great. So, why did you choose to attend Baylor and play under Coach Art Briles? What did your decision ultimately come down to?
For me, it was a mixture of the athletic program was going real well. I loved everything Coach Briles was doing. Really liked the offensive line coach. And then academically, Baylor's can't argue with what they do in the classroom, and it wasn't too far from home, but it's not too close either. And so that mix of factors is what led me to picking Baylor.
So it's a great school for academics, also a great school for football. You guys have won and won very big recently, especially in the Russell Athletic Bowl. You guys, especially the offensive line, you guys dominated. Putting up a Russell Athletic Bowl record of 756 total yards without your top two quarterbacks. How does that feel to put up those numbers, have your team put up those numbers, and on such a big stage?
It felt really good because for the weeks leading up to that, everything just seemed to be not going our way, and During the game, we were just feeling good about ourselves because we were really moving the ball. We felt like we were in control of the game, and it's just a really good feeling to feel like you can dominate a defensive line as an offensive line. And then after the game, when you start hearing the numbers, you're like, man, we did that. That's crazy. So it was just really a sense of relief that we finally just came out and just got it done, no matter what the obstacles or the circumstances were. It was a real good feeling.
In that game, the offensive line dominated, not just the entire offensive line, especially you. You were pointed out on ESPN by one of the reporters. He circled you on the TV, pointed out a good run, block on a run you had, and then said that he's expecting big things from you. Did you see that?
A couple people texted me the clip after the game. I thought I did okay. At the time, I didn't feel during the game, I didn't feel amazing. I've had games where I felt like I played better, but I don't know. It's like when you see it on film, it's never as bad as you thought it was, and it's never as good as you thought it was. So, on film, I did better than I thought I did on the field. So it was definitely pretty cool to, see me getting highlighted on ESPN and all that stuff.
That was really cool. And what's probably even cooler is your first start came a week before, or the game before, against the University of Texas, the school that your dad went to, played on the offensive line for in the 1980s. I know Texas isn't as good as they used to be, not even close, but how does it feel that your first start came against a team that your dad used to play for, and a team that you really looked up to growing up?
It was pretty crazy. That week, that whole week, it was kind of in the mix for the starting job because we didn't know if Pat Colbert, our right tackle who was hurt, was going to play. And kind of it came down to right there before the first series. Everyone, it was kind of like Coach just looked at me and he said, "You ready?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And then we broke the huddle, and then I was like, no one told me I was starting, so I was like, I guess I'm going to go out here. And, started the game, and it was really cool. My dad said he was watching in the stands, and he was starting to get kind of reminiscent when UT's band started playing, and then he saw me out there, and he just shut everything out because he didn't know I was going to start either. So it was a really cool feeling. Wish the game had turned out differently, but I was pretty happy with the way I played and how it all went down, except for the end result.
So it's not a very conventional way to find out you're starting your first college football game. Is that just Art Briles, or is that?
No, I think that just really came down to it being a game time decision with Pat, the right tackle, because if he decided he wasn't going to play, then the left guard Blake Muir would move to right tackle, and that's when I played left guard. And I think it was really just a game time decision because, I remember talking to Pat. I was like, right before, I was like, "How you feeling?" He said, "Oh, I think I'm pretty good. I'm gonna go." And then when it's time to go, he just kind of pointed at me. So I went. And I'm not honestly. I think it's kind of. I didn't have time to think about like, oh, I'm starting, like, and get nervous about it. I just kind of ran out there and started playing. So it might have worked out for the better.
No, so you said your dad was in attendance. What did he tell you after the game?
He was just proud. I mean, he thought he thought I played real well, and it was, we all as a team we didn't play that well in the first half, but he was real proud of me, and thought we could have got the win. And he was joking with me though, because for 4 years of high school we played Brazzeswood, and that's the high school he went to, and we never beat Brazzeswood, and already starting to play in college and haven't beat UT when I've been playing. We beat them my redshirt year, but so he's already kind of joking with me how I can't beat him.
Well, I'm sure you guys will probably beat Texas next year, probably by a landslide. But so you mentioned your dad being at the game. And I'm sure since he played at the college football level, he knows what it takes to get to the college football level. So what did he like? Did he train you in any specific way through like growing up? Did you have any specific memories training with your dad?
Yeah, I remember. I always say that whenever people are throwing the football around, and everyone always laughs because I throw an ugly spiral, and I always say it's because I never learned how to throw a football from my dad. I learned how to block and do tackling drills. I remember we found an old punching bag, one that you like hang so it's real heavy, on the side of the road, and back when I lived in Louisiana, and we would just set it up in the front yard, and I would tackle it and do that kind of stuff. And then we got these black blocking dummies that I remember carrying out to fields or in the backyard and doing different drills with my dad, even just as a kid.
How old were you?
I probably started doing all that stuff when I was like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, you're like carrying dummies?
Yeah. It was,
so he knew.
Oh yeah, I didn't become an offensive lineman on accident. I was bred.
So you've done all this training. Did you have any like offensive linemen in the NFL or college that you modeled your game after at all?
I can't say that there were any offensive linemen that I really like until like now. When I was younger, there weren't any guys that I was like, I want to be like him. I just wanted to. When I was younger, I just wanted to be like my dad and some of his buddies that played on the offensive line in Texas. Now I look at Marshall Yanda and some other offensive linemen that are really maybe undersized, because that means they have to be that much better with their technique and their hands and their footwork. Will Shields, he's played for the Chiefs for a bunch of years as All-Pro. I remember watching a bunch of his highlights. But growing up, I really liked watching defensive linemen, and seeing what they could do to offensive linemen. That's what I grew up like admiring.
All right. So when I think of offensive linemen, I usually think of someone who's just played football their entire life, just big, really big guys. You were a 3-sport. You're very versatile. You played 3 sports in high school, lettered in 3 sports in high school: football, basketball, and track. How would you say, or would you say, that basketball and track helped you out in football at all?
Basketball definitely helped me become more than just a big guy. It helped me become athletic enough to get to the next level, especially middle school the middle school years. When we were real heavy in the basketball was when I definitely became more athletic and, always trying to keep up with smaller guys. Basketball really helped me translate to my footwork in football. Track was just fun. I mean, I just threw shot and disc, and so it helped me maybe with some explosion, or have some explosiveness, but really football and basketball helped me with track more than track helped me with those sports.
So growing up, you were always one of the bigger kids in the grade on the football field. But once you get to Division I, most of the people or athletes, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, they're all like your size or close to your size. You're still pretty big. But how would you say, what adjustments did you have to make going from playing in high school to playing at the collegiate level?
Well, the biggest adjustment is that you can't just out-muscle people all the time, or you can't get away with having a slow step or only playing at 75% like you can in high school. You know, in high school, you can play at 75% and still win all your one-on-ones because you're that much bigger or better than everyone else. But in college, you have to go 100% every play, and you really have to condition yourself to do that. And so when the playing field is equal as far as size, things like hand placement and small, quick steps really become a much bigger factor.
So Blake, now looking on the next season, what are your goals for the team and for you personally?
For the team, our goals are going to be the same as they are every year. Win the national championship, win a Big 12 title, win the state of Texas, dominate at home, and attack and win on the road. Those are the 5 standards that we hold ourselves to every year. And to replace or fill the void that all the seniors are leaving, it's going to be up to a group of younger guys or underclassmen to step up and fill that hole. And so it's going to be really on our shoulders to step up. For me, I want to lock down the starting job for sure, and then play the whole year, minimal injuries, be the best player I can be for my team and help in whatever way possible. And at the end of the year, if I have a Big 12 honor next to my name, that's great too.
That'd be really cool to have a Big 12 honor next to your name. Yeah. Now, both you and I, we're gonna take a trip in a time machine 3 years into the future. All right.
Cool.
You just finished your last game at Baylor. All right. So, if you're looking back on your career, what do you want to be remembered by, and then what's next for Blake Blackmar?
Well, this summer when we were working out, Coach had all the seniors write down on a whiteboard words they want to be remembered by, or how they want to be remembered, or words they want to be associated with, and everyone wrote down respected, and physical, and hardworking, and those are all things that I want to be associated with too. But the one that someone wrote down that really stood out to me was champion. I want to be remembered as a champion, and all those other words can be associated with that, because you have to go through so much to become the champion. And I want to finish my college career with multiple Big 12 champions or championships, and I want to, everything that's associated with the success of being a champion, I want that to be associated with me.
I'm sure Baylor is going to be dominating the Big 12 for the next 3 years or so while you're there. But Blake, thanks again for doing this interview with me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.